right, well, good morning, folks. It's Meteorologist Ansley Parker here. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to dive into the extended look at the forecast. Now, I will just go ahead and say off the bat, there's going to be a lot to unpack in the forecast for the next couple of days, not including today. So I know there is a ton of reasons to be out today, including Forsythia. We have St. Patrick's Day Festival going on actually right now in Dublin. We're watching the parade on the sky cams just to the left of me. There's that. We also have Peaches to Beaches. I mean, there is so many things going on across the area today. So if you're worried about today, nothing to worry about at all. It's going to be completely sunny, clear like it is right now. But Sunday starts to see just a few changes, and then Monday morning we have a severe weather potential. After that severe weather potential moves out, Tuesday and Wednesday we have the return of below freezing temperatures. So those are the big things that I'm going to focus on in this extended forecast, and I'm going to give you everything you need to know, especially about the severe weather potential that we have for Monday morning. So that's kind of just to give you a preface to what I will be talking about. We are going to go ahead and take a look at the forecast piece by piece, and that's going to go chronologically. So we're starting with the, oh my goodness, lost my words there, the parade that's in downtown Dublin right now. I've been watching all morning. It's been very exciting. A lot of folks are out there, a lot of green, and it just is a good look out there right now as everybody is enjoying the festival. I'm not sure why this is being so glitchy. Let's see if I switch this, if this gets a little better. No, I guess not. I don't know. Our sky cams have been having a little bit of trouble lately, but you get the picture. Nice, fun parade. A lot of people are out, and obviously a lot of people in short sleeves. It's just a nice weather day out there today. So this is what a lot of Central Georgia is going to look like. Lots of folks try to be out on their Saturday enjoying the weekend. Like I promised, it should still be able to be a nice and clear Saturday. Skies will look a lot like they do right now for the rest of the day. And we just overall will have a pretty good looking Saturday today, so it really should not be a concern for much of the day. It's really the end of the weekend and the beginning of next work week that we start to have just a couple of severe weather chances in the picture. I'm sorry, I was trying to see if I could get this to stop being so glitchy, because it is really fun to watch, but for some reason this computer does not want to pull the feed correctly. So anyways, that's what it looks like outside right now, and I mean, it looks like that just about everywhere. And if you were out early this morning, you may have noticed that the start of the day was pretty chilly. Now we have warmed up only at 11 a.m. this morning to the low 60s and even mid to upper 60s in a couple of other spots. So we've got a pretty warm day on tap here. It's not going to be much colder than yesterday. We're going to stay actually a good couple of degrees warmer. The high temperature today will be in the upper 70s. So like I said, nothing to worry about today. Saturday is going to be a beautiful day all day long. The satellite and radar, when we flip over to it, I mean, it is completely quiet. There's nothing going on there. There's honestly really not even any cloud cover. And when I take this bigger picture, you really won't see much across the southeast at all. I know I talk a lot about looking for the next big system that's moving in here, but at the moment, that next big system is actually not visible across the southeast. So we don't really have a ton to worry about through the majority of the weekend. Even your Sunday, if you're concerned about Sunday as well, the rain chances are going to be dodgeable. So you shouldn't really have an all-day washout for Sunday, but Sunday just kind of marks the change that's going to be in the air as we head into Monday. It's really more so of a transition day, and that's why I'm using it as a distinction. But again, I don't know how many other ways I can emphasize it. I just really don't want this to get lost in the mix. Today's going to be a great day, perfect high temperature in the upper 70s, above average, and it's going to be warm and sunny all day long. So a great day today. Like I said, that does change heading into Sunday. So what I mean by that is on Sunday, we're going to start to have a couple of isolated showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two that begin to pop up. Obviously at this specific timestamp, there is not a ton, but if we back it up to the afternoon, you can see there's a couple of these isolated showers across our area. So it will not be a washout of a Sunday by any means, but we will introduce a little bit of a rain chance. And then out to the west, you see this organized line of showers and thunderstorms. This is going to bring some impacts to us on Monday morning, right around the morning commute time. So I know this is a little unfortunate, but it may feel familiar to what happened on Thursday in the sense that it's going to be right around the time a lot of folks are trying to get their day started. It will push across our area throughout Monday morning until it leaves us heading into Monday afternoon, and that will be that on this specific cold front. So it is a potential severe weather situation that we're talking about for Monday morning. We're likely, in fact, I say possible severe storms here, but it is looking more and more likely that we will have a severe weather situation. What are the main things that we're talking about with this severe weather situation? Well, as you know, now we are in that time of year severe weather ingredients are usually in place when we have big systems moving across like this. So the main thing and kind of the most important thing will be damaging wind gusts. Remember, it doesn't have to just be a tornado for wind gusts to be impactful. A lot of times here in our area, we can have straight line winds, and those can almost do the same amount of damage as an EF0 tornado. So wind gusts will be important in and of themselves, but spin-up tornadoes will also be a possibility on Monday morning as well. I know this all sounds kind of extreme. I really don't want you to think about it that way at all. This is more so just an early heads up that these things are possibilities and they're on the table, but there are a couple of caveats that could change in the forecast that I'll explain to you here in just a minute that could put us in a little bit of a better position. So those will be kind of the severe weather risks on the table. Again, I'm going to go into a lot more detail here in just a moment, but also important to mention, we are in the weather impact alert for Monday morning because of severe weather. We're also going to be in a weather impact alert for Tuesday and for Wednesday, like I mentioned just a moment ago, because of the possibility that we will be back down below freezing. So kind of a late season freeze. I know that's going to be impactful for a lot of folks who are worried about crops. I'm also curious about if that's going to impact the cherry blossoms at all. I really hope not. I'm sure this is not their first rodeo dealing with a late freeze at all. But we want to throw it on your radar early because you may just go ahead and have to put some of the cold weather practices back in place as we go into the upcoming work week. So I'll talk all about all of this in a lot more detail starting now. So let's go ahead and, and I forgot to pause any points here. But let's talk about the severe weather potential for the rest of the upcoming weekend here. So I'm going to start with Saturday. And again, there's really nothing to worry about for the day on Saturday. But as we go into Sunday, there will be a couple of rain chances on the way. So here's a look at Sunday morning. And the trend for Sunday, again, the best way I can say this is we're going to have an isolated rain chance. So it's not going to be an all-day washout, but everybody has got the possibility of catching at least one or two of these showers. And when we kind of saw the big picture view, you may have been able to tell that some of these showers and storms actually come ahead of this cold front. And that is going to be important for one reason, and that reason is just that we do have a very low-end severe weather risk for tomorrow. The reason being, because the cold front that's way out to the west at this point is firing up a couple of these isolated showers and thunderstorms, and we've got a lot of moisture filtering in from the southwest here, there's a possibility that one or two, and I really truly mean one or two, of these thunderstorms could be strong to potentially severe. There's pretty low confidence in this really being the case. I think a lot of these showers and thunderstorms are just going to be showers and thunderstorms, but there is the possibility, because we have the energy in place, because that's such a strong system out to the west, that one or two of these could become strong to severe. I would say it's more likely the closer that that cold front gets to us. So in the morning time, that's probably not going to be the case, but into the afternoon and evening, as that front starts to get a little closer, pushes a little more energy in our direction, that's when one or two of these could become strong to severe, likely in the overnight hours here. But again, I would consider that to still be a pretty low end chance. The reason I'm even emphasizing it at all is because when I show you the SPC risks here in just a moment, you're going to see a level 1 of 5 risk for our area here on Sunday. So like I said, it's just an isolated rain chance, but they do have a level 1 risk outlined for the possibility of kind of actually exactly what we're looking at is probably a good example here. Whoa, goodness, sorry, I did not mean to do that. Okay, this little cell right here, notice it's way out ahead of this front, but this is kind of what the SPC is talking about. One or two of these cells could become strong to severe, but it is relatively unlikely. This is obviously going to be more of our severe weather threat. There's just a chance that late night or overnight into Sunday night, one or two of these could try to have some gusty winds or some hail. This is not really tornado potential either. The tornado potential is going to be along this line. For this, we're really just talking about the chance for a severe thunderstorm. So I'm just putting that on your radar again because I'm going to show you the SPC outlook, and it's going to be a little confusing, but I promise if you stay with me, I'm trying to break this down in the simplest way that I can. So that's late Sunday night, and you can kind of see this again ahead of the line. A few of these cells out there are trying to pop up these just isolated areas of showers and thunderstorms. So some of these could try to be a little bit strong, Actually, if any of those end up being strong or do put down a good bit of rain in our area, as you may know, that actually could end up being a pretty good thing for us because it may work over some of the fuel that's available in our area. So I know nobody really wants to see more storms than necessary, but we should kind of hope for a few of these in the morning because that may end up helping take away some of the food for this actual organized line. But either way, this line is going to make it to us. So I want to emphasize one thing that's really important before I go into detail about the exact timing of this system. The timing has been one thing that the models are still struggling with a good bit at this point in time. As you know, we are still a good couple of days out, so this is a Monday morning time frame, which means the models are still working on the exact down to the hour situation. The reason is it's a really large scale system. It takes over multiple layers of the atmosphere, so because of that, the timing and how fast it's going to move or how slow it's going to move is a little bit difficult to nail down. So it's going to be probably one of those situations where we find out as it's unfolding out to the west exactly what time it's going to be here. But one thing that you can safely rest in is that it's going to be a Monday morning situation. Is it going to be 6 a.m. versus 5 a.m.? That's kind of the distinction that I'm talking about. But it is roughly around a 6 a.m. arrival time. Now, obviously, this model run kind of says around 5 a.m. That's what I'm talking about. There may just be these really, really slight differences in the timing, but what you need to know for the most part is that it's going to be on Monday morning. So with this specific model run, this is Monday morning around 5 a.m. and this is arriving in our northwestern counties. As so many of these lines do, this will be moving in from the northwest over to the southeast. So it will arrive at some early morning hour in the northwestern counties, and it will push across the region as we go throughout the rest of the morning. Now, the reason this is important is because this is, again, the morning commute time. So similar to Thursday, I would go ahead and start thinking about your Monday morning commute or your children's Monday morning bus rides, things like that. Maybe go ahead and make a plan to take your kids into school yourself if you're able, because I'm not necessarily by any means saying that this is going to be a widespread tornado situation like last week was, or like Thursday was, I should say, but we definitely have a severe weather potential on the table around the time when folks will be heading to work or heading to school. So this is going to be at play once again on Monday morning, and again, there is a severe weather risk associated with this. So important to just go ahead and start thinking about that now. This will just continue across the area through the rest of the morning like it did on Thursday. Now, this is supposed to be pushing out of our southeastern counties by the time that we get to around 10 to 11 a.m. Remember, there could be a couple of slight differences in timing as we go throughout Saturday and Sunday. I would say at least by the time we get to noon, majority of the severe weather risk should be coming to a close. After that, we're going to see a couple of showers roll in behind this front. This is not severe weather. The severe weather risk will end with that initial front, but there could still be a couple of lingering showers left behind as we go into the rest of Monday. So that takes us all the way into Monday evening. By that time, we finally see all of the rainfall, all of the storms, all of the everything clear out, and we will stay nice and clear for the rest of your Monday night and heading into your Tuesday. I will come back to that just briefly before we end the stream here, but I want to kind of talk a little bit more about the severe weather risk that is associated with that line. Now, I mentioned this a few minutes ago when I was talking about Sunday. Sunday has its own severe weather risk, but it's because, again, a couple of those cells that are ahead of that line could try to become strong to severe. I still think that that chance is relatively unlikely. Obviously, when you look at this graphic, there's going to be one area that stands out to you the most. That's going to be this level 3 risk that is way over to the west in portions of Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, Louisiana. This is where the line will actually be while we go throughout the day on Sunday. It is not going to be to us on Sunday just yet, but because of the movement of this and because of a couple of the isolated cells that it may fire up ahead of itself, the Storm Prediction Center has gone with a level 1 risk for our area. The level 2 that you see here is because of the arrival time over in portions of western Georgia. So for western Georgia, this will really be more of an overnight situation into Sunday. The arrival time will be a lot earlier for these portions, but it's going to be a Monday morning situation for us, which is why we flip over to the day 3 outlook. This is the Monday outlook, and you see that we are all now included in a level 2 risk as we head into Monday. So that's as this front actually passes over to us. Again, the silver lining is still most of the unstable air, the instability needed for severe weather is going to be in this level 3 risk. Obviously, we're not kind of in the worst of it. And I will say also, because we are in kind of an early morning time frame, as you may know, we don't have the heat of the day to really help spur the severe weather chances along even worse. That's actually why the level 3 is over here in the Carolinas, because by the time the cold front actually gets to this area, they'll be having plenty of sunshine. It's going to be the heat of the day, and that's going to bubble up a lot more severe weather instability over in these areas. As the front rolls over us, we're going to be in the early morning hours, so we won't really have a lot of daytime heating to help with severe weather chances. But that being said, we still have, at least at this point in time, an unstable enough atmosphere to go ahead with a level 2. Now, if you're familiar with the Storm Prediction Center levels here in central Georgia, we get a lot of level 1s, we get a lot of level 2s, but level 2 usually signals there is a decent chance that there's going to be some damaging wind gusts, and there will likely be a couple of spin-up tornadoes with this line as well. So those are still the main things that we're going to be looking for being outlined in this level 2, and just kind of the nature of the system itself. But like I said, there could be a couple of things that could change the severity of the impacts here in our area. One thing is if the timing trends to be a little bit earlier, that could help us a little bit, because like I just mentioned, if the daytime heating is down just a little bit, then that can help with our air being a little more stable, not being quite as helpful for severe weather. The other thing that could be good for us is if this front starts moving really quickly. So I know that may sound counterintuitive. You might be thinking, well, if it's moving quickly, it's probably going to have a lot of power behind it. Yes, but also it'll get through here quickly, and we won't just have a prolonged severe weather experience here in our area. That also might give the line itself time to almost get in its own way. Think about it. If something is moving pretty quickly, it might move ahead of the actual forcing, so it kind of gets out of its own way and starts to disorganize itself a little bit because it's moving a little too quickly. That's a possibility. But right now, either way, we are in the level 2 risk, which means that those things are on the table. Those are just kind of a couple of things that I wanted to give you as a little bit of hope. I always try to show the positives and what could change when we're talking about a severe weather situation, because there is still a couple of things that could change to where this might not be an exact replica of what we saw on Thursday morning, but I still think it's better to be prepared either way. With a level 2 outlook for us, we know that we should be preparing for damaging wind gusts and the possibility for a few spin-up tornadoes. So that is what the level 2 is outlining for us. I know because of the recent severe weather event and just in general, a lot of folks are probably really concerned about this tornado potential. So I'm going to walk you through the tornado parameter here. It's just going to show you kind of what I just said. There's going to be available energy for some spin-ups. Now, what does that actually mean? What is a spin-up tornado? It basically just means that as this line is moving into our area, you've seen this before probably if you've paid attention to the weather at all over the last couple of years. Portions of the line will try to start turning from time to time. It doesn't necessarily mean that everybody's going to get a warning. It just means that there is available energy here in our area for portions of the line to try to turn from time to time. So the oranges that you see kind of indicate that possibility for us, that there is just a chance as this pushes across our entire area for the line to try to start spinning up. Then as we head into the later morning, kind of the early afternoon, obviously this line pushes past us, and then we will be through for the rest of the day. So again, more than anything, it's really just an early heads up to say, okay, we just saw this kind of situation on Thursday. This is a good time to start thinking about what you can do on Monday morning to be prepared, not scared. You know, start thinking about how you might make alternate plans if you're somebody who stays, you know, in a mobile home or something like that, to spend the night at a friend's house or something like that. Or if you are somebody who you know you have a really far commute that's kind of right in that prime time, then maybe start thinking about plans to work remotely if you're able to, or change or delay your time that you're going to be driving into work. It's just really those kind of things that we can put into place, especially knowing about this a little bit earlier, as opposed to Thursday when that severe weather situation kind of unfolded pretty quickly. There wasn't quite as much time to get prepared. This situation's a little bit different. There's a little more time to kind of think about things and become prepared. So that will be the severe weather risk, just for the sake of it, because I'm sure that we've had some folks who've joined a little bit later. I will walk through that timing one more time. Again, Sunday, it's really just going to be a few isolated cells, but the majority of the severe weather risk will be early Monday morning. The exact hours will be in flux as we go through the next few days, but you can generally think around 6 a.m. arrival time in our northwestern counties, maybe a little earlier, maybe a little later. And then it's going to push across the majority of the area throughout the rest of the morning. And that, at this model run, shows this here in the Warner-Robins area, the Macon area, by around 7 to 8 in the morning. And that's a pretty similar situation to what we saw just on Thursday. So then it will be pushing out of our southeastern counties. Hopefully by the time we get to around noon, we can say that we are going to be in the all clear for severe weather, and then it's just probably still going to look a little bit messy because we've got another round of showers that comes in later. Now, after this, it is a cold front, so it's actually going to be a powerful air mass, which is actually part of the reason that the severe weather risk is there, because we've got a really, really strong cold air mass that's going to be pushing into our area. So today and tomorrow, you will still have these really nice warm temperatures in the upper 70s, but as this cold front comes through, I mean, just look at what it does to the map. It is really actually going to filter in, whoop, and our model dropped off there, but it is really going to filter in some truly colder air. I know this says 40 degrees, but I think the feels like numbers do a little bit of a better job showing what it's actually going to end up feeling like. Again, we're warm today and tomorrow, but then comes that colder air mass, and we are going to be down, oh my goodness, we are going to be down in the 20s by the time we get to early Tuesday morning. So that means that we're back down below freezing. We have had some really, really nice warm days over the last couple of weeks for the start of spring, and you may have gotten out of practice for what you need to do when cold temperatures move in. I would just say, ahead of thinking about the upcoming work week, you also might want to go ahead and think about things that you might need to do around your house on Tuesday and Wednesday mornings to get your house ready for potential below freezing temperatures. For myself, I start thinking about what I need to do in terms of my pipes, so start dripping your faucets for Tuesday and Wednesday mornings. Maybe you have outdoor plants that you need to bring in for the nights that are going to be below freezing, pets, things like that. Those are the kind of things that you should start thinking about for Tuesday and for Wednesday. The good news is by Thursday, we're back above freezing, and then we're going to stay that way heading into Friday as well. First day of official spring, astronomical spring, is on Friday, so we will be at a much more temporal number heading into the end of the week. But that is why the 7-day looks like this. I know it looks a little funky. It's probably a little bit confusing, but it is technically 3 weather impact alerts. One for Monday morning for the severe weather chances, one for Tuesday morning for temperatures that'll be down in the 20s, and another one for Wednesday morning for temperatures that are going to be in the 20s once again. After that, we are done with all this weather craziness, and we will be heading into a pretty quiet end of the week with temperatures that are back around the average for this time of year. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of perspective as to the just kind of crazy forecast that we have here for the next couple of days. I know it's a lot to unpack, but the good news is it's really only that Monday morning time frame and potentially late Sunday night that we have the severe weather chances. After that, the other weather impact alerts that you see are not for severe weather, and we shouldn't have to worry about that for the rest of the week. So hopefully also this is a pretty early heads up. Like I said earlier, Thursday morning, that severe weather chance really unfolded while a lot of people were sleeping. So now that you know about this ahead of time, hopefully it gives you a little bit more time to prepare and get ready and just kind of think about how you might want to change your travel plans for Monday morning. Like I said also, there could be a couple of slight changes in the timing as we go throughout the rest of today and tomorrow. So if you have interests in this forecast, checking in as often as possible will be helpful. We'll be getting out as many updates as we possibly can for the next couple of days. And of course, as meteorologist Alex Pry did such an amazing job covering Thursday morning, we will be here on Monday morning covering things as well if any severe weather should unfold. So lots of ways to stay updated and stay in tune with the forecast. And hopefully this gives you a little bit of time to just prepare and put your family and yourself in the best possible scenario to be safe on Monday morning. Again, I will be back tomorrow. If you're looking for another in-depth extended look at the forecast like what we just did here, I'll be back at 10 a.m. instead of 11 tomorrow morning. And I'll be doing the exact same thing with likely a little bit more detail because we'll be even closer to that Monday morning event. But for now, enjoy the sunshine. Saturday is not the day you have to worry about at all. You have plenty of sunshine today and some nice warm temperatures as well. So enjoy the pleasant weather. Hopefully you're able to get out and enjoy Forsythia, St. Patrick's Day Festival, or even Peaches to Beaches across our region. Again, I'll be back tomorrow morning. If you joined and stuck around this long, thank you so much for joining us. And we will leave you with a very beautiful day today and make it a great one, Central Georgia.